Summary of a Higher Call. 1. The setting, World War II and the skies over Europe. In late 1943, the Allies were pounding Germany with relentless bombing raids, trying to break the Nazi war machine. The U.S. 8th Air Force was sending young crews in B-17 flying fortresses deep into enemy territory. One such crew was led by 2nd Lieutenant Charlie Brown, a 21-year-old pilot on his very first combat mission. 2. The mission begins on December 20th, 1943. Brown's B-17, nicknamed G Old Pub, took off with its crew to attack a German aircraft factory. The mission was extremely dangerous, with heavy anti-aircraft defenses and patrolling German fighters. 3. The bomber is attacked as they neared the target and dropped their bombs. Brown's plane was hit repeatedly by flak anti-aircraft fire and then by German fighters. The bomber was badly damaged, engines were out, controls were failing, holes were torn through the fuselage, and several crew members were severely wounded or killed. Despite terrible damage, Brown managed to keep the plane flying, though it was barely holding together. 4. Enter Franz Stigler. Nearby, Franz Stigler, a German Luftwaffe ace, was refueling when he was scrambled to intercept the stricken bomber. Stigler had already shot down many Allied aircraft, and one more kill would earn him Germany's highest military honor. As he approached the B-17, he saw it was riddled with holes, smoke pouring out, and men slumped over. He could easily destroy it, but when he looked closer, he saw that the tail gunner was dead, the crew were tending their wounded, and the bomber was clearly doomed. 5. A moment of mercy. Instead of shooting, Stigler was overcome by empathy. He remembered a lesson from his commander: you fight with honor, and if I ever hear you shooting at a man in a parachute, I'll shoot you myself. He felt shooting down the crippled bomber would be like murdering helpless men. So, incredibly, Stigler pulled alongside the B-17, made eye contact with Charlie Brown, and tried to guide the damaged bomber to safety. At first, Brown thought it was a trick, but then realized the German was protecting them. 6. The escape. Stigler flew in a protective escort position, shepherding Ye Old Pub to the edge of the North Sea, away from German anti-aircraft guns, then saluted Brown before turning back to Germany. Brown and his crew miraculously made it home to England, where they were stunned to have survived.
7. Aftermath and secrecy. Brown reported what happened, but the U.S. military classified the incident as top secret, fearing the story might humanize the enemy and undermine morale. Franz Stigler, on his side, never spoke of it either, because helping the enemy could have meant execution. 8. Life after war. Brown and Stigler returned to civilian life. Brown became a farmer in the U.S. Stigler emigrated to Canada, living quietly with the burden of his wartime memories. For decades, each wondered what had happened to the other. 9. Reuniting after 40 years. In the late 1980s, Brown began searching for the German pilot who had spared him. After placing notices in German pilot associations, he found Franz Stigler. When they finally spoke on the phone and then met in person, they instantly formed a deep bond. They went from enemies to genuine friends, visiting each other's homes and families, and attending air shows together. 10. A lifelong friendship. For the rest of their lives, Brown and Stigler stayed close, considering each other almost like brothers. They traveled together, shared their story with schools and veterans groups, and tried to show the world that even in war, humanity can prevail. 11. The legacy. Brown died in 2008, and Stigler followed a few months later. They are remembered for what became known as the most incredible encounter between enemies in World War II, a true testament to chivalry, compassion, and courage.